Presenting City on the Lake 2019.
Imagine all of this. And this. And this. And this. Being underwater. Over the course of the past 200 years, the buildup of landfill has paved the way for the construction of new land, which in turn pushed back the shoreline. This is Yoko Ono's sculpture, which she entitled Sky Landing, and is currently located in Jackson Park. Where the sculpture resides now is where the 1893 Japanese pavilion used to stand before it was burnt down. This fountain, located near the Art Institute, is actually a representation of the Great Lakes. You can see that there are 5 different nymphs, and each one of them represents one of the 5 Great Lakes. The way that the water flows between the nymphs is a representation of the way the water flows between each of the Great Lakes. Now we are going through Lurie Garden, which is home to many native prairie plants and attracts pollinators. Here we are embarking on our canoe trip down the North Branch of the Chicago River. Throughout Immersion Week, we learned about how the Chicago River was reversed back in 1900. The river had to be reversed because waste and sewage were draining into Lake Michigan, and Chicagoans were beginning to contract waterborne diseases. In order to reverse the flow of the river, a canal was constructed so that the water would flow from Lake Michigan towards St. Louis and the Mississippi River. So this is the South Shore Cultural Center. It was built in the early 1900s because during that time country clubs were starting to become popular. The architecture of the building is of a similar style to buildings you would see in Florida, so that way Chicagoans would feel as if they were escaping the bitter temperatures of Chicago and feel more as if they were in a tropical setting. This is Steelworkers Park, which is on the south side of Chicago. It is a former U.S. Steel site, which was previously referred to as Southworks. The steel mill was built here because it is where the mouth of the Calumet River is, so it was an ideal location for the transportation of materials. This is a glass furnace bell, which was used to hold raw materials and could weigh up to 20 tons. Prior to Immersion Week, I was clueless about the history of Chicago's lakefront, and it was hard for me to picture the shoreline bumping right up along Michigan Avenue. But throughout the week, I gained so much knowledge about the transformation of Chicago's environment, and now I have a much better understanding of how Chicago came to be the bustling city it is today. Thanks for a great week.